Okay, I hope you are able to see my screen. Let me change the view. Okay, so this is the document which is almost 43-page Gazette of India. Okay, it is basically published on 25th of August 2021. So that is what it says. Okay, you can see here the date. Okay, New Delhi, Wednesday, that is 25th of August 2021. So first 20 pages are basically in Hindi. So those people who are not able to read English, for them it is in Hindi also available. Okay, so from 25th page it starts with basically 24th page. Okay. So you can see Ministry of Civil Aviation. So this document is released by Ministry of Civil Aviation. Okay, notification, New Delhi, 25th August 21. The name of this document is Drone Rules 2021. Okay. And if you see, these are the parts. That is what I was saying. Part 1 is preliminary, where it talks about the short title and commencement. The rules may be called as. That's why I always say Drone Rules 2021. The name of this document or this segment is called Drone Rules 2021. Whom they shall be come into the force on date of publication. Date of publication is 25th of August 2021. For whom these rules applies, like you have seen in 1937 aircraft rules, all person owning, possessing, engaging, licensing, operating, transferring, maintaining aircraft system in India. Here they have mentioned unmanned aircraft system because these are rules related to drone rules. Okay, so that's why it is saying unmanned aircraft system in India. All unmanned aircraft systems that are registered in India, okay, and all unmanned aircraft systems that are being operated for time being in and over India. So even though the drone may not be belonging to India, may not be registered on India, but still it is operated in India, still they have to follow Drone Rules 2021. Okay, rule number 2 or 2 of 2. The provision of Aircraft Rules 1937 shall not apply to unmanned aircraft system except in case of unmanned system, aircraft system with maximum all-off weight more than 500 kg. Okay, that means it's saying that Aircraft Rules 1937 not will be applied to any of the drones. Okay, but it will be only applicable if the all-off weight of that drone is more than 500. So this is what we were talking yesterday. We talked about large class drone, which categories the weight starts from 150 grams, but there is no outer limit defined. So outer limit is 500 for large, but if the drone which is larger than 150 kilograms, but even still further like above 500 kilograms, then not only the Drone Rules 2021 will be applied, but even Aircraft Rules 1937 will also be applicable to those rules, those aircraft. Okay, these rules shall not apply to unmanned aircraft system belonging to or used by naval, military or air forces of Union of India. Okay, that means none of the armed forces will have these rules applied to them. Okay, this is what. Then you have third section is all about definitions. So there are 29 definitions. Okay, when we say act means Aircraft Act 1934. That means when we say aircraft rules, that means it is 1937. Okay, when we say drone rules, it is 2021. Okay, that you remember. Now accident means accident associated with the operations of unmanned aircraft system as and when person is fatally or seriously injured, or where the unmanned aircraft system sustains significant damage or goes missing or is completely inaccessible. Okay, so this is the definition of accident. So how do you define accident, or how do you come to conclusion that whether this is an accident or not? So read this definition, understand how it is applicable to your scenario, and then you can decide whether it's a accident. Okay, aeroplane means, again yesterday we talked, aeroplane means any power driven heavier than aircraft machine deriving support from its lift in a flight chiefly from aerodynamic reactions or surface which remain fixed under given condition of flight. Okay, so power driven heavier than aircraft machine deriving support for its lift in a flight from aerodynamic reaction on surface. So basically aeroplane has a fixed wing. Okay, so the wing basically generates the lift because there is a pressure difference on it. Okay, so like this you can read all these definitions. There are almost 29 definitions. Okay, like if you can here see, geofencing means restricting the movement of unmanned aircraft system within a defined airspace. Okay, so within a defined airspace there is a restriction. Okay, you are creating a virtual horizontal boundary. Okay, horizontal boundary on all 360-degree sides. Okay, so that is what is geofencing. Green zone, then it is a green zone 8 kilometers to 12 kilometers. All that definition. So there are two green zones. One is between 8 to 12 and beyond 12. 8 to 12, the limit of the height is 200 feet, whereas from above beyond 12, the height is 400 feet. Okay, then yellow zone. Okay, yellow zone again, in yellow zone also you have two segments, inner zone and outer zones. From 5 to 8 kilometers is your inner yellow zone, from 8 to 12 is outer zone. So your outer yellow zone starts from 200 feet to 400 feet. Okay, that is what it is. Red zone is basically airspace defined dimension above the land areas or territorial waters of India or any installation or notified port limit specified by central government beyond territorial water of India within which the unmanned aircraft system operation shall be permitted only by the central government. Okay, it doesn't mean that you cannot fly the drone in red zone. You can, but provided you have a permit from central government. Okay, so as of now it is no. You have to take a permission from central government, then only you can fly in a red zone. Okay. Hybrid unmanned aircraft means again heavier than air, capable of vertical takeoff and landing, which depends principally on power-driven lift device or engine thrust for the lift during the flight regime and on non-rotating airfoil during the horizontal flight. Okay, so you read the definition of hybrid, read the definition of the aeroplane, read the definition of unmanned. So you will see there is a difference in the way it has been defined. Okay. Then you see hybrid, then model aircraft. It means a remotely piloted aircraft system with all of weight not exceeding 25 kilograms, right? I told you. Used for education, research, design, testing, or recreational purpose only and operated within visual line of sight, right? Yesterday I told you about model RPAS. Model RPAS is basically the aeroplane which are used by aero modelers, okay? Basically used by aero modelers. So that's a definition. Your aeroplane cannot be more than 25 kg weight, okay, and it should be only used for a purpose what? Education, research, design, testing, or recreational purpose, and operated only within visual line of sight. That means within range of 2 to 3 kilometer max till whatever you can see. So visual limit is basically 2 kilometers max for a normal person to see, 2 to 2.5 kilometers, okay, roughly. So higher side you can say 3 kilometers. Depending upon your eyesight and the visibility condition at that point in time. Okay. Then you have operation, prototype. Now you can see your definition of the prototype also. Prototype says unmanned aircraft system means unmanned aircraft system developed for the purpose of research and development or obtaining a type certificate. So till you obtain a type certificate, your drone will be called as a prototype. Okay. Again, you see remote definition of remote pilot license, remote pilot stations. So this has a very comprehensive data. I mean, you can read here, like, type of unmanned aircraft system, a unique identification means unique identification issued for registration of unmanned aircraft system in India. Okay. UTM means a system that provides traffic management for for safe and expeditious flow of unmanned traffic and avoids collision between the manned and unmanned aircraft system through collaborative integration of person, information, technology, facility, and services. Okay, so that's the UTM. So this is basically your digital sky platform is basically your UTM. Okay, so similarly there are third-party OEMs also are there who are making the UTMs available. Okay, even there is a separate document for making your own UTM also. So, but that is still in a draft phase. So that's not finalized or comprehensive document. It's just a basic initial draft document which has been released by Government of India or DPC. Okay. Classification. Now you can see classification. It starts with categorization, right? Aeroplane, rotorcraft, and hybrid. And the subcategories are remotely piloted aircraft, model remotely piloted, and autonomous manned aircraft system. So we have seen this. So see how it will be difficult if I start showing you this this document. Yesterday, if I have shown you this document, it will be very textual kind of thing. It will be very cumbersome to understand and grasp all these things. So that's why we have this presentation in a form of presentation. So it is very easy, and people understand pictures more effectively than the words. Okay, along the words we try to put pictures, but sometimes some slide, like when I was talking about this initially, I have just put the words because I have not put exactly this to this. I have just simply copied the sentence: aeroplane, rotorcraft, hybrid. I didn't talk anything about subcategory. I just went to straight away classification. I just put the names: nano, micro, small, medium, and large. So just at least you grasp those keywords, important words. That was the intention what we had. And then next slides we gave you pictorial information about those particular words what we are trying to say. So first we made you focus on the words, and then we said, okay, we'll explain you in a form of a picture. Part 3 is very important for the respect of operations. Okay, this is the important segment for pilot. Since you are going to become pilot, this is the important segment which you need to know thoroughly. Okay, so rule number 6 is general: no person shall operate unmanned aircraft system in India unless such unmanned system conforms to type certificate or is exempted from the requirement of type certificate under these rules. Okay, so if you are exempted, then only you can use, or normally you are supposed to fly only type certified drones in India as per these drone rules. Okay, or unless it is exempted, like nano is exempted from type certification, so you can fly nano, but rest of the drones you should be having a type certified. Right now government is not so stringent, but in future probably these rules may be down the line. Once we have a very good system where we have availability of drones manufactured in India extensively in all segments, all classes, then it will be very effectively. Like for example, like in micro or small, basically in small, okay, government want to promote, because from 2 kg to 25 kg is quite a huge range, big range. So you can have drones up to 2 kg or 2.5, 4 kg, which can be used for surveillance or whatever it is required, photography, cinematography, all that's requirement can fit into the small class of drones. Okay, that's why they wanted to promote as much as possible in that, and have those drones available so that people, and it should be very easy. See, right now even if you see, there are drones which have been type certified, but they are very, very expensive. Why they are expensive? Because lot of components are not Indian made, okay, not available in India. So they definitely have the costing extensively. Like for example, flight controller, which could have been available in around 5,000 rupees, 6,000 rupees, it is costing almost 20,000 rupees, right? 15 to 20,000 rupees. Basic Pixhawk, basic, if you try to take a flight controller, it costs you around 15 to 20,000 rupees. Okay, even the GPS devices, these are not manufactured in India. That's why the cost is almost twice or thrice. That is what actually putting us down. So what government is trying to put is, like this time now they have given almost 10,000 crores for deep tech technologies, right? Yesterday was only that announcement was there, so that more and more components, more and more types, and more technology can be developed, evolved, and researched in India within itself. So if you are able to make the drones within India, all the components of the drones in India, your cost of the drone will be very, very cheap. Okay, very, very, it will almost come down to 1/3 price, I would say. Okay, certifications made in India, like this is talking about the what we say, how and what to get. So made in India technology, design, component, unmanned aircraft system, Indian, like as I talked to you, navigation, right? GPS we should try to use, rather depending on the GPS. Do you know what are the GPS satellites available, or what are the satellites which gives us this coordinate system services? Any idea? We talk about, right, GPS. हमारा mobile में GPS, like normally GPS is a very common word, but GPS is referred to as American satellites. Any idea which are the other satellites which provides what do you say, services for GPS? Have you studied, read about it anytime? No. So take this as an exercise. Try to read, so whenever you get time. Try to read about GPS services. What is provided by USA? What is provided by Russia? What is provided by European countries? What is provided by China? What is provided by India? Try to read about it. Something you will definitely read when you search on Google. You will read it. Take this as an exercise and read it. We'll discuss this tomorrow, or maybe on 4th day, because this will be a topic where we'll be discussing when we are actually flying the drones. okay, because we will be seeing the GPS signals, we will be seeing GPS, how many GPS satellites are connected to our drones. So that will be the topic. So I leave this as a topic for you to read something, prepare yourself, read about it. Probably some more things I could also learn from you also. So take a time and read. It will not take more than 15 to 20 minutes for you to gather that knowledge. And let's discuss this on day 3 or day 4. Okay. Then type certification, Director General of Civil Aviation, Authorized Director General may be in behalf of Quality Council of India or authorized testing entity issue a type certificate for any particular type. This is what we talked about, right? So applications. So if you are going for manufacturing of your drones, you want to make drones for selling and all the things, this segment is very important. So we have seen all these, whatever the words you see here, everything what you see here has been already explained you in a form of a presentation. So we talked about these mandatory features: no permission, no takeoff, real-time tracking by then geofencing capability. Then every person who owns record must under the sub rule within period not less than publication notification as may specify. Okay. Obtaining a type certificate in certain cases. Like there could be a certain case. No type certificate is required for model remotely piloted. That means if you are flying aero modeling aeroplanes or any device like that, which is only used for modeling purposes, doesn't require a type certificate. That means you can build your own drone. You can fly in a green zone also. Okay, saying that it is a model aircraft. Okay, model remotely piloted aircraft. Okay, but it is only for your purpose, for your recreational activity, education, testing, all that things. You should find that. Okay, you should have that clear-cut definition of it. So nano unmanned aircraft system, again less than 250 grams, can be flown without a type certificate. Okay. Part 4 is basically registration, that is getting the UN number. Okay, so I'm not going to talk more about. Part 5 is the most important with respect to the operations of the aircraft system, unmanned aircraft system. So here you talked about airspace, interactive maps, mandatory. Now basically this will change, because as I said yesterday, digital style platform, probably we do not know how they are going to put up, but probably we are assuming that there will be a new portal or new link will be coming where the airspace map and all that. Yesterday late night I shared you the image, right? Yesterday morning when we were seeing during our sessions, we saw the airspace map. There was none of red zone, and all of a sudden, in the night, I was just observing. I was just trying. Normally, every day I see it, either in the morning or in the late night. I normally always see the airspace map. That's my habit. Has become a habit or routine for me. So normally I say end of the day before, two things I normally see. One is the airspace map for the drone flying, and second is the weather. Okay, so that is IMD portal. Normally I will see. I will show you when we start our weather and meteorology topic. So IMD portal I will see to see what is the cloud condition, where the water clouds formation and all that things. So normally I will normally see these two website either once in a day at least minimum. I will see it just to understand the weather patterns. Okay. Then requirement, prior permission, dynamic nature of zooming, temporary red zone. Okay. Then your what is that? Access to digital sky platforms, safe operations, prohibitions, carriage of dangerous goods, right of way. So right of way is very important because it supersedes anything else apart from manned aircraft. So manned aircraft has always first priority or right of way for operations. Okay, mandatory reporting of accident we talked about in no later than 48 hours. Then remote pilot license. This basically is not for you actually from a perspective of doing anything. This is basically for us. Okay, for our PTO. So this is basically who can and how and what they can have the remote pilot license. Part 7 talks about remote pilot training organization. So this is very generic rules over here. Okay, these are very basic rules. There is a separate document which we need to follow to get the organization certified as a remote training pilot. So where they have defined what should be the class size of the classroom, what should be the size of your plot where you are going to train the student for pilot flying, what type of simulators you need to have. All that guidelines has been given into a separate document. So that we need to follow, and then only we get that authorization from DGC after doing successfully audit of the site. Okay, then part 8 is basically research, development and testing. So this is where you, if you are into research, like when you are doing preparing a drone for type certification, this is will be applicable for you. Okay, so it says that the following person shall not require type certified unique identification number, prior permission, and remote pilot license for operating unmanned aircraft system for research, development, and testing purpose. Namely who? Any research or development entity like IITB, okay, or educational institutions, or any startup recognized by Department of Promotion of Industry or Internal Trade, any authorized testing entities, and any unmanned aircraft system manufacturer having GST number. Okay, so all these people does not require what? Type certificate, UIN number, any prior permission, or remote pilot license also for operatives. That means nothing is required if I want to fly a drone. But then who are those people? Only these people. If you are falling in any of these people can fly. But where they can fly? Provided that such unmanned aircraft system operation take place within green zone only. Okay, so understand that they are saying you can do these activities, people can fly without permission, without XYZ, everything, but within green zone and within the premises of a person where such research development testing is being carried out, or within an open area in a green zone under such person's control. That means somebody has to have a control, somebody has to. That's why, see, why though IIT Bombay is in a red zone, still IIT Bombay can fly drones within their premise because of this statement. Because they are an educational institute, they are doing it for research and education purpose and testing purposes and all the things. And within limit they are doing it. Okay, so there is a prescribed limit so that within that segment they can fly the drones. Okay, oh, they cannot just fly extensively like 400 feet के ऊपर fly नहीं कर सकते, because then they will violate and it will go into yellow zone. Okay, if they are going in yellow zone, they need to communicate to ATC prior, take permission from ATC, then only. Whereas currently whatever they are flying only in that 400 feet altitude and within their premises. That is what they have the approval, and that approval is renewed every year by IIT Bombay. Okay, that's why they, like for example, I may have a place like for our place, like our place is valid for 10 years. We have got approval for 10 years. Within my space, within my plot up to 400 feet, and within that 60 by 60 plot, I can fly my drones. Okay, I can give for anybody to fly. Even like for example, tomorrow Soham has developed some drone and he wanted to test. He can come to my site and he can test the drones at my site. Okay, so that is what. So we are already in communication with couple of manufacturers who wanted to use our facility for testing of their drones, because they cannot fly drone anywhere. It needs to be in somebody's control. Okay, it should be owned by somebody. Then only you can actually use that place for that. Even though it is saying no permission required, no license required, no type certificate required, no UIN required. You don't require to be a licensed pilot also to fly that kind of drone. But still it needs to be under somebody's supervision, somebody's control. Somebody should be owning that place. It should be in a green zone. Okay, so clear. So a lot of people just read half things. They don't read this line, and then people think that हम तो मिल गया, हम कर सकते हैं, किधर भी उड़ा सकते हैं, and all that things. Okay, so you have to read. See, now you have to read this entire thing and understand. Okay, so this is like a law document. If you see law books, they are always written in such way. So these rules and all these things are always written in a very, very, very polished English, very difficult to grasp in a first time. Even when I was reading it first time, I was not able to understand. But then you have to read this multiple times. Try to see what does it says line by line. Every word by word you need to understand. That is how the lawyers and advocate reads the rule books or laws. Okay, and then try to interpret and try to get out of it and find the ways of defending themselves. Then part 9 is basically talking about unmanned aircraft system, traffic system. So as of now, only a draft policy has been released by the government of India. Okay, so after drone rules 2021, they have just released a draft policy, but still there is no considerable work has happened on this segment. Okay, there are some third party OEMs who are also working on unmanned traffic system. That is a private type of UTM which is available, but end of the day, even you create a private, it needs to connect to the central government UTM also, so that basically they are also updated on same lines what your UTM is working on it. Such policy framework shall conformity with the rules shall facilitate automate permission as required. So basically, it is so that if you have a UTM, like in airspace, we can generate our own flight plan and submit, and once it is approved, then we can fly the drone. That is what is the basically cause of the UTM. And once our drones are equipped with ADSB technology, the UTM can track our drone flight and everything. Okay, that is what is basically talks about UTM. Okay, the role, power, responsibility, union territory administration. So basically, even once you have this UTM facility available, ADSB has been implemented, you can actually control the drone remotely also. Okay, the UTM can make sure they can lock your drone also in case they don't want that operation to be function or that. So they will also have some sort of a control on your drone also probably in near future. Okay, then part 10th talks about insurance. We talked about Motor Vehicle Act 1988 is applicable to this insurance. So I was just today morning only was checking my insurance. So my insurance is going to get over somewhere on 26th of September. So I still have some time. So before 1 month expiry, I need to initiate the renewal of my policies. Okay, so don't wait till the length day, because then you will miss some days, and in that day basically if some mishap happens, you will be in a trouble. So always renew. You can always initiate your renewal process, and the insurance policy will actually renew your policy exactly once your first policy expires. You cannot have two policies at the same time. So basically they know when the next policy has to start. So the moment your first policy or existing policy expires, your next policy is applicable. So they will set the dates accordingly. Okay, so provided a nano, again nano doesn't required, may not require to operate third party. Yes, Shubham.
What would be the cost of the insurance in the roughly range?
For example, our agribot drones, I'll tell you an example. Okay, so when I first time applied for insurance, because I had two drones. One drone was my 2022 purchase and one was 2024 purchase. Okay, so 2024 has come by default with the insurance and warranty. So I don't require to purchase an insurance. But when I went for a purchase of 2022 drone, they gave me initially quote for 365 days somewhere around 6,000 rupees. Okay, so I was just reading the policy document, but then that it's a very lengthy document, very comprehensive, and again that policy document is very difficult to understand and interpret a lot of things. So I tried to read and understand it, but over the period I could not gauge much thing about. So I called those guys again and asked them, can you explain me in a short what is covered and what is not covered? So after that discussion, I came to know that this policy is applicable only in daytime. So what is the daytime? Daytime means the moment you have a sunrise till your sunset. But then I said, I'm running a RPTO, and for RPTO I need this because I will be sometimes operating my drone after the sunset also. Okay. So then they said, okay, then you have to go for a day and night policy. So my premium from 6,000 changed to 11,000 rupees. So roughly it was 11,000 rupees for me. So again, because since I am not going to fly anywhere outside, I do not have to worry about the liability of property or life or anything. Like, I don't need cover of 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs or something like that. Okay, basically I have taken around 8 to 10 lakhs of cover, because it is only covering the cost of my drone. Okay, not about anybody's life or property, because I'm going to fly only in my training and within that area of the plot which is authorized, and so that's why my premium is less. If I am going to define like I'm going to fly anywhere, okay, so probably my risk factor increases. So then probably my premium will increase also. That's how the premiums are being defined. So they will ask you what will be the sort of your operations, what will be the area, or what type of projects, or for what purpose you are going to fly this drone. So since it is for only training purpose, we are just basically taking off, taking down, doing basic maneuvers and all that thing. So and within that area of 60 by 60, the authorized plot, so they know the risk is very less compared to the drones which are flown outside or anywhere. Okay, so that's why how the premium is defined for these drones.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Then part 11 talks about unmanned aircraft system promotion. So government takes a lot of activities, development business friendly regime, including automate permissions. Then they are actually trying to set up the incubators. Like a lot of incubators are there who are promoting development of unmanned aircraft systems and technology. They are giving lot of schemes. There are a lot of PLI schemes are coming up. Subsidies are given. So they basically it is to promote as much as. So this point talks about promotion. Okay, this is what it defines. The central government may promote adoption use of unmanned aircraft by constituting unmanned aircraft system promotional council, which shall facilitates the development business regime. Okay, even competitive events like we had already 2 years back only already. The drone soccer has already been started. Once in a year, this competition held. Then there was a competition in Ladakh where you have to bring your drone and fly in that region. And there was a couple of companies like second number I think came for Idea Forge. First company was what was that name? I forgot the name. So there are three companies who got their drones successfully be flying in Ladakh because Ladakh is very hostile condition considering the cold, high area terrain and all that things. So how the drone are going to behave in those kind of environment, there was a competition for that. Okay. Central government may, after evaluating this drone basis of economic impact, prepare a 6 months. So this is the internal part. DGCA normally every 6 months they review the documents, and if there is any change, any amendment is required in this particular document, they will release as an amendment document. So there are only 2 amendments has come for this document with very basic and minor changes. Nothing major has been changed into the document. So this becomes the major or the base document as of now still for Drone Rules 2021. Okay. Then miscellaneous is the last segment. That's the 12th segment, part 12. Where rule number 46, every time you must have heard about, when we are filling our D1, D2, D3, D4, D5 forms. So it always mentioned the pay the fees as per rule number 46. So what is rule number 46? Rule number 46 talks about fee. Okay, so what are the different fees? So for issuance of type certificate, your fee is 100 rupees. For issuance, transfer and deregistrations of unique identification number, that is UIN, so it is 100 rupees. For issuance and renewal of remote pilot license, that is your license or your certificate, so that is your 100 rupees. Authorization or renewal of authorization of remote pilot training, that is for RPTOs. Okay, so only for RPTO it is 1000 rupees, for rest all other are only 100 rupees. Okay, that is the cost. Now if you see here, this is only the cost charges what I am paying to DGCA, 1000 rupees. But to set up my RPTO, almost I required 50 lakh rupees because 1 acre of land. Again, if you are purchasing a land, then probably the cost will go more. Okay, but basic, if you have your own land and then you are going to set up the RPTO, then probably roughly around 30 to 50 lakh rupees are required to start the RPTO. Okay, so it's not that very simple that कि आपका RPTO कोई भी training institute खोल सकता है. It's not that easy. Okay, so you need to purchase 2 type certified drones, which almost cost you 15 to 20 lakh rupees. Then simulator setup, classroom setup, then your drone battery charging, spares, all that things is required. Then you need to appoint 2 instructors. Okay, you have to appoint 2 certified instructors. All will incur the cost because if you are putting 2 instructors, their salaries, for you have to consider when you are starting a RPTO, you have to consider at least a salary of those 2 persons for at least for a year or a 2 years time frame. So when you consider all this cost, that cost comes to around between 30 to 50 lakhs depending upon where you are opening your RPTO. Okay. Similarly, I talked to you yesterday about type certificate. So here the fee is only 100 rupees. This is only 100 rupees you are paying just to initiate the process. Okay, but once you get initiated, the authorizing testing entity is engaged. Their fee is 3 lakh rupees, 3 to 4 lakh rupees, and then you are building a prototype of your drone. So imagine if you are building a drone, each drone will cost you around 5 lakh rupees. The minimum I am saying. Okay, 5 lakhs into 3, 15 lakhs तो आपका उधर ही हो गया drone बनाने का. Then you need to set up a team or designers like mechanical engineer, electronic engineer, electrical engineer, testing engineers, lot of things. Then infrastructure setup, office, all that things. So that cost is almost 35 to 50 lakh rupees again. So getting a drone type certified is not just कोई भी drone बनाया और type certified. So it needs to have a proper startup, proper vision, proper plan. You need to see that type certification will take at least 1 year time. So इतने लोगों का salary, इतना लोगों का सब कुछ cost आपको, because that time you are not earning until unless your drone is not type certified, you cannot manufacture and sell it. Your manufacturing and sale will only happen after you get type certification, and after that also 6 months period is required to mass manufacture those type of drones, and then you have to sell it also. तो सोचो ऑलमोस्ट 1 year 2 years का आपको प्लान लेके चलना पड़ेगा, एंड दैट मच कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट इज रिक्वायर्ड टू बिकम अ ड्रोन मैन्युफैक्चरर. Okay, so I'm giving you this perspective like how does it works and how it is required. So lot of people have, अरे मैं ड्रोन फ्लाई करने जाऊंगा, सर्टिफिकेट बनाऊंगा, पायलट बन जाऊंगा, then I will manufacture, I will build drone. Lot of people, especially I have seen engineering students also, they do projects on building the drone. 10-12 हजार 15,000 का ड्रोन, robo.in या फ्लाई रोबो, ऑल दिस साइट्स पे आपको सब कंपोनेंट्स मिलते हैं. ओके, तो 15-20 हजार 25 हजार में आप ड्रोन बनाते हो. But that is only a hobby type of drone or just for learning purposes. But when you're going for a type certificate, there are a lot of things you need to go. If you read the type certification document, which I told you yesterday, it is of 220 pages. 100 pages are in English, 110 pages are in English. To read that document and understand and interpret from it, it will take you 6 months. Okay, then you will start building from it. So it's such a comprehensive and lengthy, and then out of that document, you need to build your drone. You need to document your results, you document your reports, you know, to even going for a basic lab reports. Each lab reports cost you around lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees, 4 lakh rupees, depending upon what lab reports you are generating for your type certified drone. So it's very complicated and very comprehensive thing to it. But then this is from a long term perspective. Like if you are a startup which eventually wanted to build a drone, manufacture a drone, then you need to have, business idea out of it. For what purpose? Like I was working with one of the company who was actually developing a agriculture drone. Then I had worked with one of the company who was actually developing a surveillance drones. And there is one more company whom with I am working in Rajasthan, where they are developing a hybrid VTOL. Okay, that Mintra, what I showed you yesterday, similar type of drone we are trying to develop over there. Okay, which will be used for surveillance purpose. Border, basically it is for border surveillance kind of thing. Okay, so you will be flying that particular drone on the border, and you will be getting a regular footage out of it. So that is what that company is doing. But then you need capital investment. At least somebody has to fund you for doing all this activity, and then the person who is also investing should see value in your proposal. Then only he will invest that much money and all. Okay. So then these are some basic rules like direction, general power to exam, offense classification, comfort. So in case you do not follow any rules and regulation, as per the drone rules 2021, you will not get the bail. Okay, you will not get the bail. You have to be present in front of the magistrate. Then magistrate will decide, okay, what is your compliance, or what is your offense basically. Okay, so that's why it's saying offense classification and compounding. No person shall carry out any activity contravention of these rules, notwithstanding anything contained Code of Criminal Procedure 1973. The contravention says shall be. See, these two words are very important. Shall be cognizable and non-compoundable. This meaning of these two words is, that means very simple. In a simple words, you will not get bail. Okay, you have to appear in a front of court. You will have to appear in front of the magistrate. They will decide, and then they will give you time frame what is to be done, and then only you will be, either if you are not guilty, then you will be released, or if you are guilty, you may be in prison for whatever the magistrate decides, whatever the penalty they decides. Okay. You will be given, see, it shall be defense of any proceeding contravention failure to comply with these rules if such contravention failure is proved caused by the factor of circumstances such as stress of weather or unavoidable circumstances beyond the control of surface, or without his knowledge of fault. Okay, if these are the something, probably you may be not guilty. Okay, but if these are not the circumstances, definitely you will be guilty and you will be punished. Okay, that is what it is saying. So rule number 49, you have to take it very seriously, though you are and since you are a licensed pilot, you need to know these rules. Okay, so 49, 50 talks about penalty, 51 talks about power to inspect, obstructions to authorized person, cancellation, suspension, saving certain orders, repealing and saving. Okay, so total 55 rules are there in drone rules 2021, and then there are form D1, like I saw, form D1. So you have a sample form D2, then you have D3, D4. Okay, this is D4. Okay, this is application for remote pilot license to be filled by RPTO. So you don't have to worry. This form will be filled by us. Okay. Then form D5 is basically application for authorization of remote pilot. So this is all about your drone rules 2021 document. Any questions over here? I hope now you got understood. So if I have shown you this document yesterday and the way I have explained now, सब कुछ सुनाई देते था, सब everything would have listened, but everything would have gone bounce, right? You would have not understood lot of things because textual it's not easy to grasp. You need to read multiple times. Even I always in my trainings or sessions, I do conduct lot of only sessions only for people who wanted to know more about drone rules 2021. I do have separate webinar sessions also on this topic, especially even those people who are actually into type certification, people who are into services of drones. They wanted to understand because you have to read this document, you have to understand each line, each rule, because it is not only one rule. The rule may be every word has its own meaning. Every word has to interpret it. What does it try to? Like I said, compoundable, cognizable. Every word has to be understood and learn from it. What does it means by it? So that's very important. Okay, so that's why just by showing you like a lot of RPTOs normally what they show is they give you this document. Hard copy print करके देते हैं सामने से बोले ये लो ये पढ़ो ये document है. This is the document what we are going to refer. That is what they say. But we don't because there's no point. I mean, if you want to read and refer every time, you can print that document. No doubt. Even I also have printed. I also a lot of time I read offline by reading that printed copy also. It's good to learn, mark on the paper by pencil whatever word you want to know, what is the more important you want to. So I do that multiple times. I do when I was preparing for my instructor examination. This is very important for us to do because in instructor examination there is a viva which is conducted by the DGC. Okay, if you don't pass that viva, you cannot get your instructor rating. So the passing rate of viva is almost 30%. So if 100 people appear for the exam, only 30 people can pass. 25 to 30 people pass from that exam. Okay, so it's so difficult. So there are 3 examiners from DGCA who will ask you all the questions related to drone rules 2021, related to operations, lot of questions, even your basic principles of flight, whether like whatever you are learning in this entire course, everything is asked because we are going to impart the training to the students. So we should be knowing things very well. That is what they are important to see and whether we are really going to train the students or not. If that's why lot of people because कोई भी बन बोलता है चलो मैं पायलट बन गया अभी मैं इंस्ट्रक्टर का मतलब see by paying money 50,000 rupees or 1 lakh rupees you can get the training, you can do all these things, but whether you are after becoming an instructor whether you are really going to do that work or not, that is what they are going to see and whether you are very serious about being as an instructor. Only those people get cleared. So last I think 15 days back there was a viva, 200 people were appeared for the viva, only 62 people passed, 60, 62, 65 के आसपास. So that means it is a 30% passing rate only is there. Okay, and in fact in between थोड़ा सा अच्छा हो गया था 40%, 50%, even almost 50% people were passing it. But right now the passing rate has been reduced because even earlier क्या था कि even those people who are in the drone directorate they were not so confident, they were also not, and they want more and more people to come up because they need instructors to train the people. Okay, so they were little bit not so stringent about things. They're just trying to see whether the person is genuine, who is going to work. Like we are associated with the RPTO, so for RPTOs people they normally don't take so much because we are already working, we are already doing this kind of training. So we are part of the training industry only from the aviation as well as RPTO also. So for us they see little bit leniently, but there are people who comes from some other industry or from some other segments and they start कि चलो ये अभी drone industry grow हो रहा है, let me do it. Whether then they will see you, they will ask you. I mean they will. It's a half an hour test. Okay, face to face you are sitting and you are appearing for that test. So it is all verbal. Okay, so they will ask you anything and everything related to drone. Okay, they will ask you to give your introduction. So even how to give your introduction, that is important when you are appearing. So similarly, when you become a pilot, you might be appear for interviews and all those things. So a lot of people go for interview, but they don't prepare themselves. Don't plan something. They say, okay, ठीक है, मैंने license ले लिया, मुझे तो अभी drone उड़ाने को, I have learned it, I may get it. But it's not right because those drones are expensive, costly. You should be knowing things. So when we are learning, when we are teaching you for flying the drones, we will make sure that you fly with the proper procedures. Okay, when you show those kind of qualities, show those kind of procedures to the people, people will get impressed from it. Okay, that is what not been emphasized by other RPTOs. Okay, I'm not promoting about my RPT or my training, but I'm just trying to make you feel the difference from what way the training. So whatever you are going to learn best out of it, maybe you can improve on it. Okay, you can have much better. You might come up with some better way of doing what we are trying to train you. Something better also is always applicable for, and you can always make. So you should always have an improvement in your day-to-day work. Your efficiency should always improve. That is what we are talking about. Okay, so that is all about drone rules 2021. Any questions?